Yes, Coach. When we talked a couple of weeks ago, you said you were trying to get down to 8 guys to work with and four you counted on. Are you getting any closer to that here after just 1 week?
We're getting closer. Yeah, we like to, and that's between me, Coach Nickel, and I. You know, we have about two a position that typically we'll try to play in a game, 8 or 9 guys. But yeah, right now we're still at that 10, 11, 12 number, which is good. That's where you want to be. But yes, we get down to game time. I'll have two a position. I'll have a total of 4 guys that I hope are ready to play a lot. And Coach Nickel will probably be in a similar situation. So hopefully we can find 8 guys that are really, really ready to go play when we get there.
Up next, we go to Joe Cook.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering what you're seeing out of Brooks and Banks and how they're, adjusting to this new system and some of the ways they're trying to work into the lineup and compete for reps and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's different, and it's different than what they did last year. We practice a lot different than I think they practiced last year. Just as much running and balls and, receiver. We really don't have much of an individual period. We come on the field and we get loose, and then everything we do the rest of the day is with the quarterbacks. So we're running full speed. We're running down the field. We're pass scale. It's running and catching and throwing all day long. So they're adjusting to it. Their legs are worn out at the end of the day, but that's a good thing. So we're making progress. We're not where we need to be, but we hope we'll get there in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks.
We go to Steve Robertson next.
Coach, last year drops were a bit of a problem. Last couple of years, drops kind of been a problem for Mississippi State receivers. How do you kind of rep that out and kind of improve that?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, we don't talk about drops. I've heard punt returners. I've people mention little things here and there. Yeah, no, we'll find somebody who can catch the ball. And my criteria for a receiver, and I've got 3 things written in my room. It says get open, catch the ball, make plays. And catching the ball is the most important thing, but getting open and catching the ball will define you. If you can't catch a football, you can't play receiver. If you can't get open, it's hard to catch the ball. But we got a lot of bodies out there. We got a lot of guys running around and catching the ball, and the determining factor will be, can you catch the ball? If you can't catch it, we'll send you to defense.
Up next, we'll go to Paul Jones.
Coach, you got a lot of newcomers, a lot of freshmen in that 2020 class at receiver. Just kind of your overall first impressions of a guy like Laditra Griffin and where is he kind of in camp right now?
Yeah, I tell you what, all those guys are really talented. I like Tulu a lot. I think he's a special young man. He's tough. He's going to make a difference for us this year. He is. I like the way he plays the game, and he's quick and fast and got a lot of twitch, and he's tough, and he catches the ball real well. So he does a lot of things I'm looking for. Rufus pulled his hamstring a little bit, missed a day or two, but what he does is really good. And young Jaden Wally's a talented young man too. Watching him, he's an athletic guy. He's got a bright future here. So we're trying to find the positions for all those guys and where they play, but they're different than the group of guys we have. We got a bunch of big guys, and then all of a sudden we signed some little quick, fast guys that are pretty impressive. I like what they do. Caleb's a good player too. My boy Caleb Ducking's going to be a good player. He's got a talented future ahead of him. So I like that group a lot.
All right, we'll go to Joel Coleman.
Coach, obviously Tyrell Shavers, his recruiting profile and where he comes from, a lot of high expectations from him from the outside. What have you seen on the inside and how he kind of fits in so far?
Yeah, he's a talented young man, and I told him that too. I said the pressure is always on you because of your track record, because of your background, because of your history, because of your high school, because of your ranking, because of your size and speed. And everywhere you go, people expect you to be the best player out here. So he's doing well. He's still learning the ropes a little bit, what we do and how we do it. But he is a talented guy that's quick, that can run, that's got good hands, and we expect good things from him.
All right, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Coach, you mentioned how all those young guys y'all have with not having to worry about eligibility and how many games those guys do play. I guess how much of a luxury is that for you to be able to work some of those guys in maybe a little bit more than you would otherwise?
Not much. To me, eligibility is usually guys play for 4 years and they take off. Now, very few guys last 5 years unless there's an injury or some guys develop later than others. But honestly, especially at receiver, at offensive line, those guys need a year. They need to develop. They need to – receivers are typically – they can show up and go play. So I don't think a lot about eligibility in fifth years. And the best guys are going to play. We don't care who they are.
All right, we'll go back to David Murray.
Coach, you mentioned big guys. Talk about your biggest guys, people like Spivey and Cumbus. How are they fitting in now?
Spivey, Compass, Powers, yeah. But even on Cyrus, Big Cyrus Mitchell's a big guy. Cam Gardner's a big guy. We've got just a bunch of big bodies. I call them trees. We got some guys that run in there, and again, as long as they play to their strength, that's good. And it's good to have big guys. Got to know what their role is, and it's being big and fighting with people and fighting to come down with the ball. So they're adjusting well. And this offense allows big guys to play too. It's not all just a bunch of skinny guys that run all over the place. We find a place for those inside big guys. Spivey's doing well. Brad does a good job. He's a live wire. He's the type of guy you like to see on the field. He'll go the wrong way every now and then, but he's going a million miles an hour. So he's a fun guy to watch on the field and watch him play. But you got to identify what your strengths are and play to them. And some of those big guys certainly have the skill to do that. They just got to keep playing to them.
Up next, we'll go to Brian Haydad.
Coach, if you look at last year's stats, the receivers you're bringing back this year caught a total of 59 passes. You're probably going to get this year 3 or 4 guys who catch that many just by themselves. From a mental standpoint, have you been able to break through to those guys like, hey, your numbers last year don't matter at all. This year it's going to look totally different?
Again, we don't spend a lot of time talking about last year. I don't care where they've been or what they've done, and that they know who we are. When we walked in here, we walked in with the sheets with what this offense demands of them, what Washington State's done, what Coach Leach's track record is in this offense. This is what it is. And I don't care if you had 20 receptions last year or none. This year, we expect 5 or 6 of you guys to catch 60. And that's what they want to hear. They're excited about that, and they know who we are and what we do. And it's very clear and it's competitive every single day. And guys that can catch the ball in practice, they're going to play. And they're going to catch 50, 60, 70 balls. And, we don't worry about where they've been or what their expectation might or might not be. They know we're coming in town to throw it. And if they can catch it, they're going to play.
We're going to finish up with Steve.
Coach Dante Jones is a guy that was one of the best receivers in this state in high school, and he kind of outgrew the position. Now he's back with you. What have you seen from him so far with that transition?
Yeah, Dante's a likable young man. He's not a great player, but he's a pretty dang good one. And he knows who he is. He knows what his strengths are. He knows he's a big guy. He can play big. He's got good hands. He's smart. He's mature. He's a good leader. He's the type of guy you want in your room. So I like what Dante does. I wish he was a little faster. I wish he did a few things a little bit more athletic sometimes. But he is who he is, and he knows who he is, and he plays to that. And he is. But he's a good man. He's a good leader. I like having him, and he's going to have a good year for us. I do like Dante. Gee, what was his – I asked him what the heaviest he ever weighed was. I think he told me like 280. I said, yeah, that's too heavy. Let's don't get back there. But he's down to in the 220s now, and he's doing well, and he's a likable young man.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Good man. Thank y'all. Have a great day.